Hey there guys, welcome back to another weekly video. Oh yeah, and I hope you enjoyed the last video. That was kind of interesting, talking about the matrix and abstract art. But anyway, I hope you guys are all kind of safe and well in these strange times. And in this video, I would like to talk about my failures in my artistic journey. I think everyone goes through failures in life, you know. Maybe that's the only way like people can learn and improve, is to constantly try things, whether that's in your personal life or whether that's in your work life, you know, trying things, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and going through those failures. Yeah, maybe that's what makes us human, is just going through those obstacles in life. And I think, I think life isn't always glamorous, but behind all of that stuff, behind all of these, artistic creations, is all the things that kind of goes on behind the scenes, all the all the so-called things that work and things that don't work, like the failures. And so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about that, talk about my failures in my artistic life, because I guess that's not something that, people really talk about in general, failures. I guess no one really wants to hear that. So who knows? Maybe I'm a bit crazy to make this video. But yeah, I just thought I'd really talk about my failures as an artist, through this journey. Oh, and if you really like the videos that I'm putting out there, you're welcome to subscribe to my Patreon channel, and basically through that Patreon I'll be releasing exclusive content for some of these videos that I put on Martin Harmon Art TV. And so just by subscribing to the channel, I think the monthly fee is pretty low. Let's say it's less than a sandwich, but I mean, if you do like these videos and want to support me, that would really be much appreciated. And but I hope it can also bring some value as well through the exclusive content. So feel free to check it out in the link in the description. Yeah, so get into it. So I'm going to start with, finding my value. I think that really got me thinking a lot recently in terms of my value, or my value in this kind of world, or this country, or this society. I was thinking a lot about how this society is driven by numbers, about how much stuff you have sold, or how much money you earn, or how many people will kind of follow your social media account, or how many possessions you have. I've been wrestling with that in terms of my value for quite some time, and I think I still wrestle with it. I still wrestle with finding my value, because sometimes this world can just seem so mad, so chaotic, because you look everywhere, and everywhere is just about numbers. It's, for me, it's more like more, and sometimes I find it difficult, placing myself within that, because I feel that, if I'm not achieving those things, I feel like I've failed, and I'm still kind of wrestling with that. It's still difficult to work myself through that, and so I think that's one of my failures through my artistic career, is dealing with that kind of expectation that is almost like an expectation, you know, it's all around me. And, you know, I feel like, you know, if you're not part of the club, that arena, if you're not achieving those things, it makes me feel like I'm devalued or something. So, so that's something that I kind of wrestle with, you know, and it's difficult not to be too consumed by it. Another failure of mine is, I don't know if it, I'm not too sure if you call it a failure or you just call it a kind of progression or self-development. But who knows, maybe failure leads to self-development. But anyway, I think another thing I wrestle with is, you know, spending a lot of time and money on kind of artist applications, whether this is exhibitions or residencies or art fairs. Yeah, so many times when I've joined something, I've applied for something, and say it's a residency, I've applied for it, I've spent so much time, you know, coming up with the proposal, you know, sometimes a couple of weeks, you know, just writing this thing up, and then submitting that, and then sometimes you have to pay a fee, an admin fee, and then after that, you know, I then get a rejection sent to me by email saying, you know, we've looked at your application and due to the number of applications being received and the quality of applications, we regret that we can't accept your application. And I think, you know, it is part of the process, but it also, I think for me, is a kind of, in some ways it is a kind of failure, you know. I mean, sure, I'm kind of learning something from that failure, but, you know, it gets me realising that the amount of time I put in to write up this application and then to be rejected does get annoying, you know. But, you know, I understand it's part of the process, but you know, I think, you know, sometimes, you know, it's still difficult to get over that kind of heartbreak of putting all your energy into an application, and sometimes even paying for these things just for it all to just kind of vanish into thin air. You know, and other things could be like, you know, I've done art fairs in the past where I remember there was this one in London, and, you know, I spent so much money applying for this show and, you know, taking the work to that venue, and then after setting everything up, being at the show for like 3 days, personally kind of, you know, manning the event, and then not selling anything, and that sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. That's a big blow, because you put, again, that's all that time and energy and money and resource that you put into that. So yeah, I mean, that's another failure of, you know, going through this artistic journey. So you got, you know, applications, whether that's exhibitions, fairs, proposals. It's pretty hard sometimes. And I think another failure is, you know, sometimes I doubt myself. doubt my abilities, and sometimes I have this voice in the back of my head that says, you can't do this, you know, you can't do this, you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. And that, that gets annoying as well. Can really put a lot of kind of self-doubt in me. And I mean, really, I don't want that, I don't want self-doubt, but but sometimes I do hear that voice in the back of my mind, and or even when I just wake up at the beginning of the day and it's just like this voice saying, you can't do that, you can't do that, or you're not good enough. Yeah, and then another one would be emotions, and emotions coming from the world around me or people around me. And that can affect me as well, and it's, you could say maybe it's been heightened during this time because of the pandemic, because of all the news that's constantly being broadcast about the situation, about people's lives being affected, and then talking about people losing their jobs and the economy, and then travel bans, and then the political turmoil, social turmoil. I think that can take its toll on me as well, and that can sometimes lower my my energy levels or lower my outlook. I think it's difficult not to let those things affect me or affect my kind of outlook. Or it could be just by people bullying, even that still unbelievably happens, even in your adult age. So all of this stuff just gets me thinking, how crazy this world could be, and sometimes that really affects me and puts me down, and so sometimes I let those emotions really get to me. Those are my failures. Okay, they're failures, but what have I learned from those failures? And I think it has been a journey going through those situations, because maybe if I didn't go through those situations, I wouldn't be where I am now. For example, looking at finding my value, I think I've learned to, I'm still wrestling here with it now, but I'm kind of learning to realize that I create my own reality, and I can control this reality that I put out. So I don't have to let these external things affect me. And another one is, what have I learned from doing these applications and applying for these different things? I think for me, I've learned to improve my writing skills, my application skills, and I've learned to be more selective about the types of things that I apply for. And then in terms of doubting myself, that's the difficult one. But maybe I think I've learned to just kind of, if I feel like I'm doubting myself, maybe just like listen to some music or just try and relax and maybe watch a movie or listen to or something like that, just to take my mind off it, or or talk to myself and say, no, you can do this. And then dealing with emotions from the exterior world, yeah, that can be hard to shut it off. But I think again, I've learned just I'm in control of my life, and I can't really change the things. Well, who knows, maybe some people can, but what I can change is myself. And I should try and keep that outside world kind of separate from me in some ways. But I'm still kind of wrestling with those issues. Maybe it's an ongoing process. But anyway, I hope that's given you a bit of an insight into my failures as a abstract artist and kind of what I've learned from it so far. I thought it'd be interesting to just talk about that, because you don't really hear people talk about all their failures and the things that have gone wrong, and I guess it's always the glamour, but anyway, just want to say thank you very much for watching this video, and if you've liked it, feel free to like it, and who knows, maybe if you have a similar experience, feel free to write it in the comments below, and also if you like this channel, feel free to subscribe, and yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.